Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Lamson Family Farms. Today I'm headed out to the barn. Got my latte. And we are going to be working on the goat maternity ward. It's quickly hitting me that we've got 3 weeks, only 3 weeks until our first kids are supposed to be on the ground. And I still have some things to do in the goat maternity ward. I have quite a few things to do in there. But it's coming along. I've been working on insulating some of the gaps, and it's certainly a lot warmer in there now. But I need to finish the stall, and I need to finish the milking stanchion. It is, probably about 20 degrees. It's been snowing all day, and it's beautiful, but it makes things harder. So I've already spent about 40 minutes trying to get water to the barn, but it is certainly beautiful. Oh, it is very cold, but I should have done water yesterday. I just didn't think of it. I was busy doing other things. So I'm doing it today, and the hoses were all frozen. But it's just beautiful out when it snows. This is the horse yard. Let's see. Hi, Jeddah. Hi, buddy. Hi. Is that Mary's butt? Mary? 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 Oh, I think I see Wicket. Hi, Mary. Yeah, hi. Didn't you hear me? Hello. Oh, hi, Wicket. You guys think you're coming in the barn? Hi, I know, but not today. Not today. I'll get you some cookies. Okay. Hang on. Jeddah, you want a cookie? Come on, Jeddah. Good boy. Okay, I think this is the last one. Good boys. You guys are so cute. Okay, I'll come check on you in a little bit. I will. So whenever I give the horses cookies, our steer calf knows he likes cookies too. So I'll give him some cookies. Got time to refill my tub. Come on, buddy. There you go. So the girls are in today. I did open their door up, but they didn't want to go outside. So they actually really prefer to be inside, which I don't like because then I have to clean up after them. Whereas when they're outside, I don't have to clean up their manure. But they like being inside, and it's cold out, so I thought, might as well. Yep, there Ray goes. This big board, or these two large beams on the ground, are for the third wall I need to do in the horses area. But I'm going to probably do that maybe next month after I finish up the goat maternity ward. And those boards on top of those round bales are also for that project. But the goat maternity ward is the thing that I need to get finished up. So anyway, there's the girls. They're both in here. Okay, so this is how the goat maternity ward is looking. I've gotten a lot of things cleaned up. I had Julia's help yesterday, and we got the car loaded up for a trip to the dump and got that big table moved out. So I've got this whole area cleared, and this is going to be the stalls. And then this side, which is going to be the milking area, I've got that cabinet I'm going to be turning into our milking stanchion. That is actually a kitchen base cabinet that we took out of our kitchen inside because we're working on a kitchen remodel. And I didn't want to throw it away because it's a perfectly good cabinet. But I had moved it into the barn because I was going to use it in here. And then I thought, well, why don't I try to turn that into a milking stanchion? It's about the perfect height. I don't want to be having to sit down to milk this time around. I want the goat at like my arm height, so that it's going to be easier for me to get them up on the stanchion, just have everything at a standing height, so I don't have to bend over to see anything. It's not a big deal if you've got a couple of goats, and we only still have a couple of goats. I mean, in reality, we only have a handful. But when we get more goats in the future, I think it will just be easier on my back to have them raised. And then this area will probably just be empty for a while. Now, I do know, especially if we end up wanting to be a licensed dairy or sell milk products, that I will probably need a metal stand. And at that point, I will switch. But for this year, the budget is to have something that's wooden. So today, what I think I'm going to do, it feels a little bit warmer than it really is. There's only supposed to be a high of 25 today. But I think what I'm going to do is start going upstairs in the barn and looking through my scrap wood to see what pieces I can use for the stalls and start bringing those down. I'm a very visual person, so it does help me to have the boards laid out so I can start visualizing how I'm going to be building the stalls. I think what I'm going to do is have it so, I'll put you down so you can see. So I think what I want to do is use this beam and the sides as a base, and then I'll have a board here on the ground all the way running along, and then I'll probably take these lights off for now, and then planning on having 3 boards that run down, or no, there'll be 2 boards that run down to make 3 sections. So I'll have 2 boards that run down, and then I'll use those supports to make gates, and the gates will end up being the wall. And I'll probably have the boards at least, probably 4 inches thick, and then I'll have, 2 smaller boards that will also run the length of it, height-wise, so that I can put dividers in the stalls if I need them, but I can take the boards out if I don't. So I hope that makes sense, but it will have 3 gates. I think 2 gates would be too wide of gates, would be really wide. So I probably will do 3. I might not, I'll measure it out. 3 would make it so that those dividers are very narrow, but that could be helpful when I've got little, I've got goat kids, or like if I ever wanted to put chicks in here, it would give me more options to have smaller spaces. I don't necessarily need to have those stalls done all the time. I can always just take out the boards and not use the gate. So I think it would probably be more beneficial to me to have more gates than I need, but then if I need to fall back on them, I have them there. And I'm still trying to decide if this section over here, if I really want a gate. So you can kind of see it. It's that little area, it's here, this area between this beam and that wall. It's probably only about 4.5 feet. I feel very similarly about what I just said with those gates. If I don't need them, I won't use them, but I'd rather have them in case I need them. So maybe there's this, I'll have to move some boards for you to see. There's an awkward lip though, from the cinder block base to the studs. So I'll have to get a little creative about making a wall there. So there are a couple of parts of this project that I'm going to be doing that I've never done before, and I still need to research how to do them. The bottom board that I'm going to be securing to this floor, and this floor is concrete. I have never secured a board to a concrete floor before, so I will need to figure out how to do that. I'm sure I can figure it out. It's kind of one of those things where, you know, I feel like I've been chewing on it for a couple of weeks, like how am I going to do that? But I haven't actually looked to see how I'm going to do that yet. But the time is now, so I'm going to have to figure that out. But I'm hopeful that I've got all the tools that I need to do that, and that it won't be as big of a deal as I've been working it up in my mind. So the other part of the project that I need to do is part of insulating this room was fixing 2 panes on these windows, and I need to figure out how to replace a window pane. So there's this one, which I've just had propped up here. But you can see I, at one point, had shattered this, so this is open. And I've just had this sitting here to help with the wind block. But I need to figure out how to do that. I'm pretty sure on the outside of the window, I'm just gonna remove the caulking and cut out a new piece of glass. The previous owner did leave a lot of glass, like panels, to replace windows if I need to, so I just need to figure out how to cut the glass. And then I've got the same thing over here on this window. You can maybe see it here. This corner is popped out, so this piece is going to be too small, but I need to replace that. So one of the other things that I did for part of insulating this room, so there are 4 windows. I'm going to end up taking a window out. There's 4 windows here, and I just made new frames for around each of the windows because before they were just very loosely put in. Like they had a nail or a screw kind of holding them in for the whole thing. So it was very drafty here. And this wall especially, this is the side of the barn that gets the most wind. So the wind would just come right through. And so I've reframed them, and there's no gaps now. So there's not wind coming through those windows, which is really nice. And it's made a huge difference. And like on the outside of this barn, I put a piece of plywood in front of this fan because when it got windy, you would just have wind coming through the fan into the barn. But I'm hopeful that in maybe next year, could maybe get some double paned windows because these are also single paned windows. And so they're just, you lose a lot of heat. And I think double paned would really help it. So I had originally thought I was going to keep these single pane windows and maybe just do a plexiglass. How do I describe this? A plexiglass, like second window as a boxed in. So you've got the window, and I was maybe going to do a plexiglass here, so you'd have this gap for the window sill would still be there. I don't know. I like the idea of keeping the older aesthetics for the barn, and I think double paned windows would make it, I think it would look a little weird, but it certainly would be less drafty, more energy efficient, but I still need to decide. I do love the look of these older windows. Okay, so I'm going to start taking some measurements, and then I'm going to go up and look through my scrap wood and see what kind of pieces I have. I'm really hopeful that I don't need to buy anything for this project. I will need to do some digging around. I might have to get some hinges, especially with how many gates I'm going to be making. I'm probably going to make 4 gates. I don't know if I have that many hinges. And the hinges that I do have, I think, might not be the right fit. So I might need to buy a couple hinges. I might need to buy a couple latches. But I'm hoping not to have to buy any wood. So we'll see. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. I still need to do some more insulating, but I've ran out of the expanding foam, and I ran out of the silicone, and I'm expecting a Home Depot delivery today for both of those. And I also bought a 5-gallon bucket of just commercial exterior white paint. So I'm hoping that I can get this room painted before kitting starts, but we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a paint sprayer before then, and I really don't want to have to do all of this with a brush because there's a lot of uneven edges, and like this wall doesn't have plywood, and so it kind of goes up, and it would just be a very timely, well, it would take a lot of time to get everything painted. It'd be a lot easier with a paint sprayer. So we'll see. So these are just horse flavored. These are apple flavored horse treats, and I think there might be molasses flavored treats in there too. Usually just buy them in the 25-pound bags and put them in buckets, and then I just keep a little gosh, this is like a gallon, 8-quart bucket here, so that when we go see the horses or feed the calf, we can just give him treats. He really likes them, and so does Ray, but Hyacinth has never figured it out. So I've been going through all the scrap wood that was left here in the barn, and I found this one piece that someone had, what's the right word for this? Chiseled, I suppose. Chiseled a football. You can see it's, in the shape of a pig. I thought that was pretty cool. So I might keep this up here. Okay, so I was able to find boards that are going to work well for the bottom board along the floor and above the beam. I couldn't find a continuous board that was 5.5 inches wide for the top, but I was thinking when I do the support beams running up and down that I could cut the pieces along the top so that it will be better secured instead of me just kind of screwing either into that beam on the top or into the board that I'm putting additionally on the top. I'll show it because I know I'm not describing it very well, but I got a different idea in my mind as I was looking through the boards than what I had originally thought I was going to do. So I think I found a board that will work well for that because it was the right width and I can cut it down to size to make it the right size. So let's carry these downstairs. So when we got the chicks last year, the pullets were probably 3 months old, and this speckled Sussex, who's right here in the front looking at me, she got really sick, and I nursed her back to health. She was sick a couple months, and I had to separate her and feed her, and she just really went really weak. Anyway, since she got better, she's the friendliest one. She follows us around. So here she is. She's right there, right in the front. She just became really sweet after she got sick and we took care of her. So now what I'm going to do is cut these two are going to go on the ground. This is going to be for the top above the beam. I'm going to cut these to size and then figure out how to secure them to the concrete. Boy, it is cold. Like I said, the high today is 25. So I'm not into fashion, and I don't want to do a farm fashion thing, but I do think it's important to talk about what I'm wearing to make it so that I can stay warm enough to do projects outside. Because if I couldn't stay warm enough to do these projects, I can't wait until the weather gets better. I need a kitting area in March, and it's supposed to be just as cold the rest of February. So I didn't do these projects last summer, so here we are. It's February. So what am I wearing? I've got some gloves. The wind hitting your hands and any exposed skin is really hard, so just try to cover everything up. So I've been wearing gloves. I got those, and I've got this Columbia fleece jacket as a windbreak, which has been really nice. It came in a Columbia like farm jacket that I bought as like the inner liner. They've been doing that now with jackets, which was not a thing when I was growing up, but now it comes with like, this inner fleece liner, which I took out. And then I've got my puff vest. Anybody who's worked with me in the past or has been around me knows that I enjoy a good puff vest. I think they make sense. They keep your torso warm and your arms free, as I like to say, so it's keeping my torso warm. But I don't need 3 layers on my arms. If anything, once you get working out here, you tend to get a little hot, so it's nice to have some layers. So I got that. And then under my puff vest, I've got a sweatshirt. I don't wear anything fancy out here because it's just going to get dirty. Like the first time I wore this fleece jacket out here in the barn last week, I got spray foam all over the arm. So now it's got spray foam everywhere. And then I've got my work pants on. These are True Work men's work pants. I typically wear menswear. They fit me better. I'm not a big person. I'm not a curvy person. The widest part of my body is my shoulders. And so menswear just tends to fit me better. And I have short legs, so unlike men's, I can usually order pants and change the length. So anyway, these are men's True Work pants. I did try women's, they didn't fit me right, so I went to men's. I really like them. I'm not sponsored or anything. Wouldn't mind if I was. I would love to try their new black bibs that they put out. So I've got these work pants on. I really like them because they're waterproof. I only have one layer of pants on. My legs stay warm all day. This is, I think I bought these in T2. They've got 3 different levels for, hardiness isn't the right word, 3 levels of like thickness. So these are the in between. I like all the pockets. They've got a phone pocket, pens. I got all different sorts of pockets here. I really like them. So I've got those on today. And I'm staying pretty warm. I'm in the barn, but I was outside messing with the hoses, and I stayed warm, and it was very windy out there. Before we moved here, I did buy some, let's see, what was the timing of it? Last year's winter coats were going on sale right before we moved here, so even though I didn't need them for a year, I bought like 3 different jackets because they were going to be cheaper than buying them when I needed them. And I had also bought, what brand were they? They might be, no, they're not Duluth. I think they might be Carhartt's insulated bibs. I have yet to need those. Hasn't gotten that cold here. But we've also apparently had a mild winter. I don't know it from experience because this is my first winter here, but all the locals we've talked to said that this winter has been really mild. So I've got those put up in just a dresser in the house, but I might need those at some point, so I want to have those, ready to go when I need them. But that's what I've got on today. This isn't farm fashion. This is just what I'm wearing to keep me warm, to keep my projects going. So I'm going to get these measured and cut up. But before I do that, I just remembered I need to go turn off the water outside. So I guess the other thing I should mention is I've been wearing a hat outside. I don't always, but when the wind picks up, it's really bad. I usually keep the sides of my head shaved, and so that wind coming through really, that just gets too cold. So I've been wearing a hat, and I've got boots on today. I usually wear Birkenstock clogs. Really like those, and my parents had those when I was growing up. But the snow is too deep, and they get in the heel, and then my heel gets wet. So I've got these are Muck Boot Company boots, and Julia's family has been using them for years, and they really like them. And I've been wearing them pretty much since I met Julia. So, God, we're going on 6 years now. And I really like them too. They're nice boots. So that's what I've got on today too. Hey everyone, that's going to be it for me today. It turns out I don't have the right bit to do the drilling for that baseboard, so that'll be tomorrow. Thanks for joining me.